welcome everyone. We've got Kevin and Nate from the Digital Currency Traders Alliance. Thank you for being with me today. I bumped into Kevin on Crypto Windio's show several weeks ago, and I was very intrigued at what these guys were doing. So thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to be with me and to talk about what you guys are doing, because it kicks ass.
Well, thanks so much, Kyle. We really appreciate you having us, man.
Yeah, anytime. I hope to reconnect with you guys again and follow up down the road as you guys make advancements and things like that, and into other states and territories. But yeah, tell me a little bit about yourselves and what it is that you guys got going on. How did you get to this point? What are your plans for the future? What exactly is it that you guys do? Because I think that there is an aspect that's very unique to your organization that you just don't see anywhere else, and that is when you guys are creating tools in an actual structure, a platform for the average Joe crypto trader to engage with, that will provide them high level information about politics, legislation that is being passed in their state, in their country, regarding the cryptocurrency market. So yeah, hammer away.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Thanks again for having us. Like you said, my name's Kevin Tromer. I'm the Deputy Director of the Digital Currency Traders Alliance. We're the nation's only pro-cryptocurrency consumer protection group dedicated to giving retail investors a voice in the cryptocurrency sector. Over the past 10 years, I've been both a cryptocurrency consumer as well as a lobbyist working in California. And as of 2021, when we saw that giant bull market crash, it really inspired me to get involved and become take a take a little bit more action by trying to rally the rest of the sector, and trying to teach and educate them with kind of with some of the secrets and tips I've learned over the last 10 years. We're joined by Nate Bradley, who is an ex-pot lobbyist who helped legalize cannabis in California, and the two of us kind of put our heads together and we're like, look, we want to make sure that we can share the same tools and secrets we've learned over the last 10 years of working with everyday random people, average Joes throughout the country. We make it super easy. We provide all the tools and training to get everyday consumers up to speed, so that way they can hit the ground running as a crypto lobbyist. We provide tools to let you track legislation in your state. We provide tools to help you have and scripts, I should say, to really make it easy to reach out to lawmakers or their staff and to share letters or your positions on different subjects. As well as provide trainings, so that way you can feel more comfortable and less intimidated by talking to folks in the halls of power.
Yeah, so what have been like the biggest challenges for your organization so as far as like crypto legislation, things like that go, connecting with lawmakers and things like that? What are some of the challenges that you guys face? And what are you guys doing to make those challenges easy to overcome?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. And I know honestly, your first thought would be, the hardest challenge is actually getting in touch with lawmakers.
Mhm.
And that's not really the case, actually. Um, you know, our hardest challenge, the biggest challenge has been trying to find folks on the ground who feel like their voice can make a difference and actually want to get involved in the political process. We've been so conditioned over the last, gosh, I mean, I'm only a little over 30, but I feel like this has been going on for at least, half a century almost, where, people are being told that their voices don't matter. There's no
Mhm.
point participating in government. Politicians don't care. They're all evil. And that can't be further from the truth. I mean, politicians are just people. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. A lot of them are just kind of like, hum ha in the middle. So really, our biggest challenge has been getting folks to understand that their voice does matter, and they just have to pick up the phone. They just have to go down, take meetings, whether it could be, which can also be, via Zoom. Nate and I have actually introduced a bill in California to expand workforce development, education opportunities in blockchain at California community colleges, just sitting behind our computer screens. I mean, I don't live in Sacramento, so it's really not as hard as people would think. And if you think that maybe it's just because Nate and I have been lobbyists for 10 years, also not true. We have our Arizona affiliate has been kicking butt. They've actually taken multiple meetings. We trained them about a month ago, and they've been taking multiple meetings. They're starting to organize a legislative forum that they want to offer about how to explore different blockchain opportunities within the state by early next year. So if we can get other people like them to do it, And we're confident we can replicate this in almost every state across the country.
The other sort of, hill we've had to climb is there is a huge vacuum of quality info, out there.
Mhm.
Lawmakers know nothing about this. Staff members know nothing, which is why it's imperative that, that we get average folks, normal investors picking up their phone, knocking on doors, and actually getting engaged, because the big banks, they've got lobbyists. Coinbase has lobbyists. All these the operators, they've got lobbyists in there. They're dumping tons of money. But the deal is, we are the people who actually vote. We are the people that go in there and keep these folks in their seats, right? And so it's, if they don't hear from from us, the people who vote for them, they'll do whatever the big bank lobbyists say.
Mhm.
I think, to piggyback that real fast, I think there was a statistic a few years ago that said 54 million Americans had at least a little exposure to cryptocurrency. Can you imagine if we got those 54
Wow.
million people to be a voting bloc? That'd be
I
absolutely
mean,
insane. We'd be able to reshape the political map of the country overnight.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, really, when it comes down to it, like, I know that there is tons of people in the crypto community that are like, hardcore activists already, that just are not plugged into like the political spectrum. And I see this just by logging on to Twitter, and you see these keyboard warriors, fighting for their rights,
Mhm.
whether it's, in just, their own tweets or replies to some of these politicians, through Twitter. But I mean, that's kind of where it ends for a lot of people, is
Yeah.
maybe social media. But when you can get like boots on the ground, like what you guys are organizing, to, like you said, go knock on doors and pick up the phone and actually talk to entities within these political offices, like, I think that there is a lot more traction to be gained from that. And really, when it comes down to it, tweets get buried. These politicians don't see everything. And when you're knocking on their door and in their face, it kind of becomes more of like a reality, or like a real movement, of sorts. So
No,
yeah,
no. I
it's
mean, I
crazy.
mean, I mean, I'm going to rant for a second here, but tweets don't change laws. Okay.
Right.
Tweets don't change laws. I was like the lead cannabis lobbyist in California for like, 9 years.
Mhm.
And I got a lot of laws passed. I got a lot of, and I think I had 4 followers on Twitter the entire time. Right. I mean, I think I love that it's out there, because I'm glad
Yeah.
people are, they're out there doing the work and getting other folks, at least, pissed off, and they're spreading, news and things like that. That's great. But the reality is, it's just, our voices matter, but our voices matter a lot more when we come from, one big voice.
Mhm.
And when they see you working, not just by yourself, but with a group of people, they get scared, because they don't realize, they don't know, can you organize around them? Can you find somebody to like run against them, next year? So when you come from an organized voice, it's deadly.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one thing lawmakers fear the most is losing their job. So they try and do anything they can to avoid doing that. And I mean, it feels great. I mean, I'm guilty of this as well. It feels great kind of shouting into the void that is Twitter at times.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it can be even more rewarding and satisfying to really, take some concrete action. You can still do the tweets on the side, don't get me wrong. But by combining both of those together, rallying the internet, masses, while also organizing folks in real time, that is a powerful statement. And that's kind of what we try and do at DCTA. We always say that not only are we trying to educate lawmakers on the intricacies of crypto, because as we know, it's rapidly evolving, constantly innovative, but we're also trying to organize, everyday crypto users on how to actually communicate effectively with government officials, and how not to be intimidated, and how to really, not I guess to be a thorn in their side until they actually take us seriously, and pass regulations and laws that will actually protect the sector.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And just kind of getting back to what Nate was saying, and it almost seems like, yes, there is way more influence when we have mob rule kind of coming at these politicians, and they're just there might be a little mob rule on Twitter, but it's such an unorganized it's such in such a unorganized fashion. And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, through your organization, all of a sudden, it becomes more organized, more structured. I think it'll be more impactful, obviously, in the end. But tell me about some of the tools and some of the information that you guys provide to your members, and talk about your membership a little bit, and the prices and how people could join, things like that.
Yeah, sure. So our first tool, and it's honestly the most public facing one, is on our advocacy portal. We have a map of the United States, where we actually assign each state with the different bills that have been introduced impacting cryptocurrency in their state. We're currently upgrading that to be even more robust because, not to be a political nerd real fast, but a lot of states have different timelines for when legislation is heard. A lot of states have already actually finished their legislative sessions for the year. So it's important to know that, which states are still active, which ones are still, are basically on pause, and then what legislation is still potentially moving forward. So that's one of the tools we do. We also provide scripts, and kind of template letters that people can fill out and send off. We have a tool to look up your congressman, representatives on this, in the House and the Senate, as well as your state representatives. So that way, one-stop shop, you can find all these and these and their names, their emails, and easily send them off an email. Um, and we also provide advocacy training. So that way, it's kind of almost like, think of it as Crypto 101, Crypto 102, where we'll, sit down with you. We'll kind of walk you through what to expect going through the process, how to, really take advantage of some of these tools, and then how to really make sure that you're maximizing your time and message while talking to these politicians, kind of like what to avoid, what to emphasize. And the coolest part is, we offer a lot of these tools for free, but we're also really, truly doing a membership membership drive right now, where we're encouraging people to sign up for our annual membership, which is simply just $125 a year, real low. We're not trying to charge an arm and a leg, but it definitely helps us build out infrastructure and compete with some of the larger lobbyists, because we know that banks and some of the other players in this space are paying thousands and thousands of dollars. We currently do not have those resources, so we're trying not to take corporate dollars. We want to make sure that this is an organic grassroots movement. So yeah, we're offering members a Scary Gary NFT as kind of an incentive membership bonus right now, where it's Scary Gary is Gary Gensler, a tongue-in-cheek play against him, dressed as a variety of different monsters, in part because of his monstrous policies against the crypto sector. This is only a small sampling. We actually have a run of 10,000, and in traditional NFT fashion, each one is completely unique. So what we're doing right now is, when people sign up for a membership on our site, we're asking for their Polygon wallet address. So that way we can avoid some gas fees and just airdrop you that your own individualized Scary Gary. So that way you can play around with it, and hopefully have some fun for a good cause.
Yeah.
We found these they're fantastic, and we think they're pretty fun.
Yeah, that's sick. There's one thing that I love more than anything else in life, and that is making fun of Gary Gensler. And I photoshopped the hell out of him. I did up this beauty.
Is that a real? Wait, did you put that scarf over him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good job.
I had some AI plugin to Photoshop that helped me out, but I thought that was good. And then this was one of my more recent ones.
Dirty,
Dirty Gary.
Wow.
We've all heard of
Well
Dirty
done.
Harry.
Well
Dirty
done.
Gary. So yeah, no, I share your passion with the comedy behind Gary Gensler and his bad policies.
Sometimes you have to laugh a little bit, otherwise it just becomes it's just inane. It makes my brain hurt, at least.
Yeah. No, that I agree with that.
Okay, no, and the last thing I was just going to add is and so I mean, part of the reasons we did it with Gary is because it's easy, because he's the number one bad guy, so it's easy for us to go on Twitter and be like, screw that guy, blah blah blah, right? I'm so old, I say screw that guy. But no, it's so easy, right? But the reality is, and we kind of have this on, when you go and join, the reality is, we can joke about them all day, but the reality is you've got to pick up your phone, You got to call your lawmakers, because we're not going to see real change just bitching about, Gary Gensler on Twitter.
Right.
That's the reality, which is the whole point. But, it's like, let's laugh about them. Let's have a good time, but let's get active, because it's not going to change. So, sorry,
Yeah.
off my soapbox.
Oh man. So yeah, no, I hear you guys. That's yeah, that is fun. Well, how can people find you? I will go ahead and I'm gonna drop like all the links to your socials and stuff like that in the description, in the pinned comment. And really, folks, for like $10 a month, you can pretty much join in on a good cause to really help leverage the voice of the entire cryptocurrency industry, and really help further this agenda that we all have. And chances are you're going to ape $10 into some crappy meme coin that's going to go to zero anyway, so you might as well just throw it into the DCTA and
Well,
put it towards a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, the one last thing I'll add is I is when you join up, is we do have these cool membership calls. We have these membership Zooms that are a lot of fun.
Okay.
So, like once a month, you'll get invited to a member-only Zoom where we're actually on there. We're talking about politics. We're talking about legislation. We're, knocking out what's going on, what lawmakers are actually doing. We're answering questions. So, that's something cool. If you're somebody that wants to know more, like wants to know the sort of nuts and bolts of how politics works, we talk about, once a month, on our member call, go over current events and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's even it's actually one step cooler than that. I know a lot of folks talk about, like, well, I want to actually have a voice and say in influencing crypto policy, and those sorts of calls are exactly the type of thing where people can raise an issue, bring up something that they feel that is very important to them, and we can um, take that into consideration, add it to our list of outstanding issues, and figure out how we can really address it. One of the things we always like to say, because I know, like, some people in the country have strong feelings about folks in California, but we always like to say that, like, look, we're not trying to tell you what to do. We're trying to give you the tools and education, empowerment, so that way you can advocate for policies in your own state, with your own jurisdictions. We just want to help you do that. We want to enable you to do that. We're not trying to steal the spotlight by any means. We think that we're stronger together when we have the industry united, and it's really important that we speak up in one voice. And the last thing I'll say probably is, to all those naysayers out there, says, once again, like, your voices matter. You're wasting your time. Nate here has a famous Nateism, which is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And it's so true. If you're not there to speak up
Yes.
for yourself, then you have no idea if someone's going to try and backstab you, throw you under the bus, because everyone else has their own vested interests, and they don't necessarily align with consumers 100% of the time.
Very well said. Yeah, that's awesome. Nate, do you have any parting words?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, Kevin covered everything. Go to the
Okay.
website. It's, there's a lot of tools there. We've got this legislative handbook that we've made, so it's easy. You literally can just send a link to this handbook. We've made it for staffers. Email it right to your own lawmakers, and it educates staff on what blockchain is, what crypto is, what are some good laws they can pass to actually make sure consumers are safe and protected. So we make it so easy. Just go to the website, follow the guidelines, and you'll be your own activist in 24 hours.
That's sick. That's sick.
And then, you can find us on Twitter at DCTA org, so DCTA.org, or you can find us on our website at www.joindcta.org. As we've said, we have a variety of resources. We got legislative handbook, different advocacy tool resources, and we're going to be always adding more to that over time. So we hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining today, folks. That's all we've got. Follow these guys. You won't regret it. Become an activist in the crypto space, and we'll see you all on the next video.